What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Off the Schneid. A little bit of news since the OTS Ranch episode. Shout out Emo Cowboy for coming on last stream. That was a good time. If you missed it, watch it back. It was a fun episode. So we're gonna talk about a couple things before we get into the drafting. There's obviously some news, like I said, a couple hellos. We got Stephen Hines, appreciate that in the chat. Green Bean, what's up? Lil Samo, how are you? Thanks for coming in. So let's chat about obviously the news. But one thing I wanted to touch on is pro days. Stephen, what's happening? Good to see you. So pro days, we got the Ohio State pro day, big one. It's a big pro day for everybody, right? So this is who was at, I mean, more than just this, but these are the big ones. To be honest, I would like to see which team sent, did they send their wide receiver coach? Did they send their running back coach? Did they send their offensive line coach? Right? These are the types of things that I would like to also look into, which I will. So I'll have to get back to you guys on that sort of a thing. I need to dig into these pro days and who is attending. I think it tells us a lot. Let's look at the Cowboys. Just because Brian Schottenheimer is there doesn't mean that he's after a wide receiver or a running back. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But was their offensive line coach with him? Was their wide receiver coach with him? Was their running back coach with him? Like, those are the types of questions worth asking. And then it can kind of direct you into what they were there for, what they were looking for, right? So these are the guys that were there, though. So Ben Johnson with the Bears, obviously, I mean, to be honest, Ibuka could be on that list. Obviously, the running backs, we know that. Offensive line, maybe, but not likely. Also, defense, of course. But if Ben Johnson is going, it leads me in the direction to think that he's looking at the offensive players. So that's the kind of stuff that I like to think about and talk about. And then who matched up with who, right? So Ryan Poles was there with Ben Johnson, Kellen Moore, Mickey Loomis, Omar Khan, Mike Tomlin. Obviously, stuff like that is worth kind of looking at and looking into. The Falcons, Terry Fontenot, Raheem Morris, right? Worth looking at, worth talking about, and just keeping an eye on. Again, I'm going to dig more into this, but it gives you a good indication of what they were looking for, what they were there for, if you can dig into it a little bit more. Obviously, again, 141 total NFL personnel. It's a lot more than just the 11 coaches and GMs. So who came with these franchises might give you a hint and indication of what they were looking for. Also, quarterback, right? I know that the Steelers actually are, I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever if Will Howard is on their shopping list, because I know that he is. I know they like him. I know they want a quarterback. He could be that type of a, pick for them in the first round, if I'm being honest. Even, Cowboys, but Will Howard could be on the menu. All kinds of, Saints as well. There's all kinds of possibilities here. So it's just worth looking into who's going with these GMs, these head coaches. Are the offensive coordinators there? Is the defensive coordinator there, right? These are all things worth thinking about and talking about when we're looking at who is attending pro days. So that's something I'll dig into a little bit more for sure as we get, move through this pro day process. But that's just something I wanted to touch on and talk about, because I think it's very important, and I think it gets overlooked a lot by most people. And it's really worth looking at. And not only that, I mean, I put a tweet out the other day. Let's just track it down while we're on here, maybe. And they've since added to this list of running back visits for the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm just trying to find this tweet that I put out. So this is the kind of stuff, again, that I look at and I like to share with you guys. So if you want to look into it yourself, wonderful. If you don't, I'll put in a little bit of extra work for you, and you can come check out the stream, and hopefully it leads you down a path and gets you closer to the answer is really what we're after. We just want as much information as we can possibly get before the NFL draft and then kind of after. So this is something I tweeted out March 17th. So what are we, 9 days ago. If we're talking about Javonte Williams, the only top 30 visits so far that the Cowboys have scheduled in at that time, there's a couple more that have running backs as well that have been added to this. They've all been running backs. So if you're drafting Javonte Williams, you might want to pump the brakes on that, considering all that they've looked at as far as visiting the Dallas Cowboys, in person, is running back. So I think that tells you what they're looking for and what they're looking at. So definitely something worth looking at. But Putt Daddy, what's happening? How are you? Great perspective. Appreciate that. Appreciate the stream. Chad Candles, thanks for coming in. Appreciate that. Let's talk about the news. So Stephen Hines, let's talk about the news here. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. Let's pull up Underdog, and we'll talk about it on there because we'll link it to ADPs and potential movement in ADP and how we're kind of seeing this. So let's pull up, like I said, Underdog. Let's go to the rankings. So Stephon Diggs. I'm 0% Stephon Diggs as we sit right now. I don't particularly see that changing. Going to the Patriots. Realistically, this is a 1-year deal, more or less. Let's pull up the contract. Let's pull it up together so we can look at it together. It's $26 million guaranteed. Basically, that's 1 year. As we look at it right now, if we look at what wide receivers are being paid, right? I don't need contract history. His current contract, please. That's fine. Whatever. I'm not too worried about it. We'll look at it another time, maybe. But regardless, it's $26 million guaranteed, which means it's a 1-year deal, realistically. So I'm really not. I'm not going to buy in on this. Like, he showed a video of him, doing squats that were clearly like staggered, favoring one side, right? So he's not going to be all the way back. I'm not too worried about it. I really don't expect Stephon Diggs to come out and have some big world-beating, type of a season. I'm not sure if this is going to rise him up the board. ADP 120 right now. Where does that move him up to? Like, I guess in this dusty ass range right here, he could move into that. I'm not going to move him up there. Like, honestly, give me, I guess, Stephon Diggs over. Like, let's look at the guys that I'm not drafting. I'm not drafting Rashid Shaheed. I need to get a little more Mooney. I don't know. There's no reason for me to not draft Mooney. I'm not saying that. I just haven't drafted him very much. There's no way I'm drafting him over Christian Kirk. Pittman, I'm taking Pittman. Bateman, give me Bateman if I'm being honest. Mims, that's pretty close. Coleman, give me Coleman. So is he going to rise? I don't really know. Could be ready for week 1. Could be, could not be. 31-year-old wide receiver coming off a torn ACL. Like, what's his birthday? Let's look at that just to see if it really matters. But if he's going to be 32 by the time the season starts, he'll be 32 throughout the season. November 29th is his birthday. So I don't know. It doesn't move the needle for me personally. That's my thoughts. I think the ball is going to be spread around in New England regardless. I think the tight ends are still going to have a pretty big role. I think the wide receiver, the pass catching wide receiver right now as it sits, it's probably Antonio Gibson. Maybe they draft somebody. And then all the underneath stuff's going to be open. I still think that Kayshon Boutte is going to be okay on the outside as long as they don't draft a replacement for him as well. So we'll see. Like, honestly, it doesn't move much for me. So not really a big concern with Stephon Diggs. That's number one. So that'll be the first guy we talk about. We got Disbanded Brotherhoods, starting up the AI. Appreciate you. Tyler Emo Cowboy, what's happening, brother? Good to see you. Das Brew Crew, we out here. We're here. Howdy. That was last episode, Doc. That's a good emoji there, or sorry, picture, whatever you want to call it, for our stream the other day. The Pats have a ton of cap. They should have gone better than this, I'm assuming. Yeah, I mean, really, like, there was not really any options. Like, realistically, there was no one that would have gone there that was a realistic option for them. This is a lot of money to throw at Stephon Diggs, sort of. Like it's a lot of theoretical money, but it's not really going to happen. Like they can, I haven't looked at the contract details exactly yet, but I guarantee you with $26 million guaranteed, they're going to be able to get out of this thing in one season. So if it doesn't go well this year for Stephon Diggs, they're going to get out of this contract, no problem. So they can absolutely still draft a wide receiver. This realistically, for me, honestly, changes a lot of nothing, if I'm being honest. So wish Underdog would open some contests. I've been living on DK lately. That's a tough life to live, man. DK stinks. But yeah, we'll see if I don't know. They might just do the rookies and sophomores. Like, to be honest, they might have to relook at it next year. But given how close and how far along we are, maybe there'll be another small tournament. But honestly, most likely, this is probably it. And then we get the rookies and sophomores. That's probably what's going to happen. So you gotta save your bullets. You gotta have some control, some restraint. And like, I'm even not super happy. I only have 40 more, I think 40 more bullets in the big board, and then one bullet in the biggest and one bullet in the bigger. So I'm running out of bullets myself, but yeah, you got to try to make it last at least a little bit closer to the draft. Rookies and sophomores will hit. I'll probably smash that as well. And then I got about 2 weeks of a break because I don't draft until at least I don't draft Best Ball Mania until the schedule drops. I think May 10th, I believe. I wonder if they would draft Hunter. I mean, I don't think Hunter's going to be there at 4. I highly doubt that unless they want to trade up, which I do not expect the Patriots to do. So I really, really do not think that Hunter's there at 4. But we'll see. Dark Side Dab, I'm rolling with Polk because he drafted really early and goes undrafted in this big board. That's not a bad strategy, realistically. Like, he was a second round pick. It is concerning. Like, it was the nut landing spot. He had really good draft capital. It all looked good. And then everybody pretty much fell flat on their face when it came to the Patriots. Like, Drake May had an encouraging rookie year. But everyone else, for the most part, fell flat on their face. So I don't mind. I'm not drafting Polk, but I do not hate the click whatsoever. I think it could be a really strong click, actually, and maybe I'll regret it. But I don't mind it whatsoever. Yeah, the DK streets are odd. I don't like it. I've never drafted over there, and I don't plan on it, if I'm being honest, unless I win Best Ball Mania or something. And I think that there's, I have that much of an edge in my head. Or if I did, I would probably, let's say I win Best Ball Mania or something like that, and I want to draft more, I would probably just draft the high dollar value stuff on DK. But that's another problem for another day. AZ Mountain Man, appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming out. I think this is the first time I've seen you in the chat. So I've seen you in other chats. Appreciate you coming in. If you guys don't mind, smash the like button while you're here. If you're new to the channel, if you like the content, hit the subscribe button. We're 18 away. You see the ticker down there, 482, 18 away from 500. If we get there before the NFL draft, 12-hour live stream, all the friends and family. It'll be a good time. Putt Daddy, we need a few new contests on Underdog. I just don't think honestly, I don't think it'll happen, considering it's this late, but we'll see what happens. Definitely rookies and sophomores, so we have that to look forward to. Best Ball and Call, appreciate you, man. We're working on it. We're getting there one step at a time. Let's talk obviously about Russell Wilson. Justin Fields, I'm thinking. Russell Wilson we'll chat about quickly. Does he move up? Probably. He should be going ahead of Jameis. So obviously the Jameis news came out before the Russell news. So I expect these ADPs to flip. Does he move ahead of Jackson Dart? I don't know about that. Does he move ahead of Aaron Rodgers? I don't really know about that. What does this do for the pass catchers on this team? Honestly, if Russell Wilson's the starting quarterback, this does kind of hurt Malik Neighbors. It really does. Like, Russell Wilson's never had a high volume wide receiver from just off the top of my head. When's the last time a wide receiver in a Russell Wilson offense had 180 targets? Right? That to me is a concern. I would rather Jameis Winston for Malik Neighbors personally. I think that's good for the deep ball. Russell Wilson throws a good deep ball, that's for sure. Darius Slayton maybe gets a little bit of a bump. Certain routes for Malik Neighbors obviously gets a bit of a bump. the middle of the field stuff, it's not been Russell Wilson's strong suit. So even these slant routes, outs, hitches are fine, but digs, slants, ins, drags, stuff like that, like stuff where Malik Neighbors probably eats the most. That's not exactly Russell Wilson's strong suit. So we'll see. Honestly, I think it's an interesting one. It's really interesting for what the Giants are doing and what are they going to do in the draft now? That's my conversation I'm having in my own head is like, okay, they're saying if you follow the money, they're saying Russell Wilson is their starter, Jameis Winston is their backup. And then in my head, they probably do draft a quarterback to bring along. And the guy that I've thought the Giants should draft, and I think that they will fits into that. Will Howard, I think if they draft Will Howard in the second round, that makes tons of sense. But if we're talking about like fantasy production, I'm concerned now for Malik Neighbors because I don't want Russell Wilson throwing the ball. I mean, I'll take Jameis Winston, as the backup, and then knowing or thinking that there should be a rookie in there. I don't know who, so you can't really make that plan realistically. I don't think it's Shedeur Sanders regardless. So it could be Dart, could be, could have been Cam Ward in the past. It's not anymore. Cam Ward is pretty much solidified 100%. He's first overall pick. Are they going to pick Dart at third overall? I highly doubt that. So realistically, it's like maybe Dart, they trade back into the end of the first round and they're able to get Jackson Dart, or they draft the guy that I've kind of comped to them or mocked to them a few times and Will Howard early in the second round to go with Jameis Winston. That's what I had thought before. Now that we're here and they have Russell Wilson, I'm forced to put Malik Neighbors at the bottom of that first round batch of wide receivers at the very bottom. And maybe I'm taking some of those running backs instead of him. If I'm being honest, it's kind of a tough, run out for Malik Neighbors in my opinion. Russ is likely there to be a bridge for Shedeur. I mean, they haven't shown, as far as I've seen, they haven't really shown any interest in Shedeur. I don't think that they've had a private workout with him as far as I know, and I don't think they have one scheduled. So there's no way they're drafting a quarterback third overall that they're not bringing into the building. They're not getting on the chalkboard. They're not running through, drills and things like that. And if they do that with Shedeur, then sure, he could definitely be on the table. But if they're not, they are not going to draft him third overall just off of, watching tape, combine visits, shit like that. They're going to bring, if it's a quarterback at 3, whoever they pick at 3, I'd be willing to wager that they bring into their building, they do all the work on that sort of thing. If they don't do that with Shedeur Sanders, then he's completely off the board for me to go to the Giants. So I don't know where you sit on that, but that's the way I look at it. There's no way they're gonna cash in a third overall pick without bringing that player into their building. That's just the way I see it. The Mahomes treatment for Sanders could get him ready for year 2. I do think that it's going to be a quarterback at some point for the Giants. I still think it's round 2. Either they trade back into the back end of round 1 and they're able to get Jackson Dart, which I think is easier said than done. Honestly, with the way things are moving, it's probably going to be somewhere in the 20s, early 20s is where I see Jackson Dart probably going. I haven't completed or even gotten close to completing my mock draft yet, but that's kind of just where my head is at right now, whether someone trades up to there or a team like the Steelers just draft Jackson Dart. And then Will Howard, Jalen Milroe, those are the possibilities for the Giants in the second round, or if they want to trade back in. But it's way less important, to get that 5th-year option on quarterbacks now, because quarterbacks are being paid as soon as they're eligible anyways. So it really doesn't matter that they get back into the first round to have that 5th-year option, because they're, 99% of the time, we're not using a 5th-year option on a quarterback anymore. You just get the deal done, right? So it's not very necessary to I need to trade back into the first round to make sure I get that 5th-year option. It doesn't matter anymore. So we'll see. I mean, I got a lot more work to do as far as my mock draft is concerned, and as far as, where I see some landing spots. But I do think that the Giants are drafting a quarterback, and I do think it'll be in the second round, and I do think it'll be either Will Howard, Jackson Dart, or Jalen Milroe. Those are my picks. we'll see. But Will Howard's still top of the list for me. I had him going to the Giants months ago. So we'll see. If it happens, cool, good for me. If it doesn't, whatever. It's going to be some quarterback at some point. I've been going through all my teams and naming them 1 star to 5 star. So I have 0 5 stars. Oh, you'll get there. It takes a while. Maybe I'll show a couple old drafts that I did. I've been doing the same thing. It's a fun exercise regardless, is to go through your old teams. Let's look at, I think I had a biggest board that I was like, man, this could win the whole goddamn thing. So Lamar Jackson, Tua Tagovailoa, Kenny Walker, Kamara, Harris at 107, Jerome Ford, Bayshall Tootin at 179. That feels good. So that's pretty quality right there. Brian Thomas Jr., Tyreek. I don't know if this was it, but I don't mind this one. I have Devontae Walker on a biggest board. That's pretty weird because I think that's one of my only clicks of them, obviously with Baltimore, but I have 10 wide receivers, so I felt like I could stomach it. I have a couple cool ones. This one I really liked. Baker Mayfield, Caleb Williams, Dak Prescott. I have Derrick Henry. No, that's not it. Where's the one? Let's see if I can find it. Maybe. No, this is a nice one, though. Baker, Jordan Love, Anthony Richardson. I don't know. There's something I liked a lot more than this, but Bayshall at 230 is pretty sweet. Jalen Noel at 227 feels nice. Trey Harris still goes right around there. So I got some value there, but anyways, I'll show you the big board stuff. So this is what I've been doing, going through my big boards, going through my little boards and kind of naming them. And maybe it was my little boards that I was doing. Yeah, here we go. Super nice. Let's take a look at this one. Joe Burrow, Caleb Williams, Quinshon Judkins at 72, Najee, Jalen Wright, Jerome Ford, Damian Harris, Marshawn Lloyd. I got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Roma Dunze, Emeka Ibuka at 96. That's criminal. Trey Harris, Jalen Noel at 192, Turpin and Parker Washington with Ingram, Kmet, and Gesicki. So I have triple stack Cincinnati, double stack Chicago Bears with some nice 0 RB value, which I really like. So again, I've been going through a lot of mine and just kind of naming them whatever. So it's a good exercise. I agree. Doc, go through your old teams. See if you find any kind of super teams, especially the early ones where, a guy like, Jalen Noel was falling, Bayshall Tootin, Najee, those types of solid, crazy values that you had, like, 60 picks of value, 120 picks of value, shit like that. Jerome or Jordan Mason, stuff like that, where guys have just flown up the board, flown up the board, either way. And you got some super value, and you got some interesting builds. So yeah, that's what I would do. It's fun exercise, but let's jump into a big board. Let's get in there and put some of this stuff to the test. Waiting on 10, so there's tons and tons of room. Come on in. Water is fine. Brenton Strange, another one. Yeah, pick 239. I've gotten him at 240, literally the last pick in the draft. So yeah, definitely a lot of guys that have just flown up the board. And if you got like even Trey Harris, Jaden Higgins, who's going a bunch earlier in the cycle, stuff like that. It feels really good to get that value, and then just see like in this case, in that case I just showed there, like where I got Emeka Ibuka at pick 96, like that's crazy. Like, where's Ibuka going now? 80. So 16 picks, a round and a half of ADP value. That's wild on a rookie wide receiver who I have as wide receiver 1, could be wide receiver 1. We'll see, but that's who I have. So, yeah, Fantasy Football Garage, what's happening? Chris the Candyman. Notice a lot of Jerome Ford. Will he end up as the starter? I think so. At the very least, I'm not going to say he ends up as the starter. but at the very least, he's locked into a 1A, 1B. A lot of these guys, and that's kind of what we were going over with Emo Cowboy the other night when he was on the stream. We were talking about Tyrone Tracy, but it rings true for someone like Jerome Ford. They both got through free agency, with a clean run out. And now they're locked in to a 1A, 1B type of situation. Even if they bring in a rookie in Cleveland, even if they bring in a rookie in New York, those two are still going to have some kind of a role. They're both very good in the pass game. They're both very good pass catching running backs. So they're going to have a role 100%. So I'm drafting Jerome Ford when, and I draft a lot of teams like this. A lot of people do. I think it's relatively viable to have a 0 RB type of a strategy or a hero RB type of a strategy. And if I need a high floor running back option, I think Jerome Ford in the 12th round or whatever he goes. Where is he? Even later, 154. So nice. Pick 6 is my absolute favorite. So when he goes in the 13th, 14th round, and I'm getting that high floor option at running back, give me that running back every time. So I have 20%, almost 20% Jerome Ford. And I'm going to keep clicking his name if he continues to fall there, especially like I said, when I need that high floor option. If you need a high ceiling guy or you want to take a rookie, then go that route. So I think he's just kind of guaranteed himself, in my opinion, a 1A, 1B type of situation. And that's kind of all you're looking for again in the 12th through end of the draft, even 10th round, realistically, who's getting all of the volume outside of I guess not even Tony Pollard, Najee maybe, right? Outside of that, who's getting all of the volume? So you kind of have to just find guys that you can get that sort of 1A, 1B situation, and then take a risk on an injury or that's your contingent upside is an injury takes place and now your guy is the number one, instead of just a 1A, 1B split backfield. But that's where the NFL is right now. Is it's split backfields, it's 1A, 1B, it's pass catching, it's pass pro. And we're just trying to guarantee ourselves half of a backfield, more or less. That's why a lot of 0 RB bros are kind of still pushing that's the strategy. And I'm not going to say that's necessarily incorrect. I just think you should mix in all kinds of different builds into your portfolio. That's my personal, approach. So a couple guys in the draft. We got Biff Tannen in there. King of QC. I know the name, but I don't know who that is. If you're in the chat, let me know. We got Losimo at the 5. Champ X3 at the 11 spot. Kelly in the 8 spot. Good to see. If I didn't name you and you're in the draft, let me know. Or lurk, do what you want to do. It's going to be CeeDee Lamb here. I'm higher on CeeDee Lamb the most. So if I can get him at the 6th spot, it's a smash click. But yeah, the reason why I like being 6th the most, well, not necessarily the most, but I like being inside the top 6 because this is just set in stone for me. These 6 clicks, they're the top 6. I'll take one of them. Whoever you don't want, if I'm in the 6th spot, whoever you don't want, that's who I'll click. It's typically CeeDee Lamb, which I think is a little bit crazy. But just take whoever you want. I'm going to take whoever's left over. Give me that guy. And then I have the first pick in the 2nd round on the way back. So it is a little weird to draft in the middle sometimes, but the beauty of drafting in the middle too is you can pull up on either side. Not even on either side. You can pull up. I'll just say that. So I'm drafting 19. If I'm taking a player who's, ADP is 27, that's not really a pull up, right? So you can do that sort of thing when you're drafting in the middle. If you're on the end of the draft, let's say you're 1-2 turn and it's someone like T Higgins where he goes right around 24, 25, right? That's a bit of a pull up. It's still not, I'm fine with it. You can absolutely do it. I'm just saying it's more of a dramatic, pull up or reach, if you will. Kelly's in the chat and she's in the draft. Appreciate you. AZ Mountain Man, is it a lock that Jaden Downs is the number one pick in rookies and sophomore draft? Yeah, it is. I think it's absolutely a lock. I think because it's 4 people, right? It's 4 drafters per room, I believe. So I expect it to be 4 quarterbacks straight. So King QC in there, appreciate you. First time I've seen you in the chat as well, so thanks for coming out. Appreciate that. But yeah, in the rookies and sophomores, it's going to be just quarterbacks in the first round, 100%, because there's no viable rookies that can even touch those sophomore quarterbacks. There's no rookie quarterbacks this year that can even come close to the sophomore quarterbacks. What do we want to do here? I'm going to do, I haven't taken T. Higgins yet with CeeDee Lamb, which is a little wild. So I'm going to go down that road. I'm trying to get a little more T. Higgins these days, considering how much I was fading him. But now that he is signed and he is on the team and he will be playing and he will go through training camp and there will be no distractions, sign me up for some T. Higgins. So that's how some priors can change, right? If you guys know, I was fading him for, I'll give me a sec. So I was fading T. Higgins when he was not under contract. And I don't consider the franchise tag it really didn't matter to me. It changed nothing. Just because they franchise tagged him, that literally changed nothing for me. Because he would not have been happy whatsoever playing on the franchise tag. And I'm not sure he would have even done it. It's hard to say. But I am happy as both a Bengals fan and a fantasy fan and a drafter that, they got the deal done. It's set in stone. It is what it is. He's happy. He's going to be playing for this team. He's going to be at training camp. There shouldn't be any issues, shouldn't be any distractions. Joe Burrow's there and healthy. Everybody's happy. Let's go win some football games. So with that in mind, yeah, give me more T. Higgins. Like, I'm back on board. And I need to catch up a little bit. So again, pulling him up a few picks, not a big deal. That was another reason why I didn't really care, because you can get him at any time. Nothing changes. I can pull him up to the end. Like, I think, I can't remember what pick we were, but Tyler and I, Emo Cowboy and I, were picked 10 or 11 or something like that. And we pulled T. Higgins all the way up to the 14, 15 pick. Perfectly fine. So again, it doesn't really matter. I can get my exposure quite easily by just pulling them up and then getting unique in that way as well. So that's what I'm going to continue to do until the draft cycle's over, basically. So we'll see what Lolsmo does. Tons of good clicks here, really. So I don't really care what happens. Anything crazy going on? Doesn't look like it. King QC goes 2 running backs and a tight end. That'll be interesting how he lands the wide receiver plane. Totally fine to do that. I'm not going to say it's bad at all. Lil Smo goes DJ Moore. I would have clicked DJ Moore, but that's okay. Let's do, I guess I just bring in Breeze Hall. But let's just do Breece Hall, I guess. I don't know. I wanted to get a little freaky, but it doesn't make sense. Honestly, the click is just Breece Hall. Let's just get the value. I think he's a really good click at 30. I really, really do. I think he should be up here at the 1-2 turn at least. Yeah. What's the difference between Bucky and Breece Hall points wise? 220 versus 212. So still hasn't rushed for 1,000 yards yet, which is interesting. But this pass catching potential, like I really think that that's such a huge value for Breece Hall. So I'm just gonna make the correct click there and bring him in. Bring in my first running back as well. I was thinking about bringing in Josh Allen. Maybe Kyron is the click there, but really give me Breece Hall over Kyron personally. I always feel compelled to bring in Blake Corum if I'm drafting Kyron Williams, just because I'm concerned with the workload he's had so far, and it's a small frame, so that definitely concerns me a little bit. But it is what it is. So Brian Thomas, Derrick Henry, Jaden Daniels. I like that start. J Law 9. Let's see how he lands the wide receiver plane. These are two guys that I'm very much fading, as everybody kind of knows. So that's interesting. We'll see how that goes. If he double taps wide receiver, he's kind of all the way back. But do it, don't do it. I'm not going to tell you it's wrong or a bad strategy. That's for sure. Puka, Devon Achane, Lamar. That looks nice. I like that start for Kelly. Lil Samo, Brian, Bijan Robinson, Lad McConkey, DJ Moore. I like that. You might get sniped on a Dunze. We'll see by me or someone else. Gibbs, Bucky, Terry McLaurin. I like that for Biff Tannen. Keep an eye on this one. See where the wide receivers start to come in. This guy's pissing, so that makes it interesting right beside you, right? I mean, you kind of see those types of pockets where this guy's kind of eating up all the wide receiver value a little bit. And then, you're forced to kind of adjust around the drafters around you, right? That could be what's going on there a little bit for King of QC. So we'll see. Josh Allen, James Cook. I don't mind that. That's got to be relatively low owned with Malik Neighbors. So yeah, I'm taking Brian Thomas over Malik Neighbors. He's got to fall to the 11, pick. ADP of 11. He falls behind all of these wide receivers. I'm not very high personally on Nico Collins, but give me Nico Collins over Malik Neighbors at this point. Now knowing that Russell Wilson is almost certainly the going to be given the chance to be the first starter there, right? That's a concern for me. I really don't like that for Malik Neighbors. Lol Samo, I'll give you Roma Dunze. I'm going to take Hampton. I want to get as much Hampton as I can while I can. So if you want to go Doomsday, you definitely don't have to, but if you want to, you got them. And then we'll see what the top end of the draft does. But yeah, back to the Neighbors thing. I think he has to fall to this pick 11. And then even if people like if they like Ashton Genty, might be easier to take him over Neighbors. I just think that really, really is not a good run out for Malik Neighbors. It looked good with Winston and ex-rookie. But it takes a hit with Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Realistically, Russell Wilson will probably be healthy all year. He plays very, very smart as far as keeping himself healthy injury-wise. And then, he does just enough and he wins just enough and he makes enough plays to keep him on the field. So I don't know. We might not get any Jameis or ex-rookie this year. We might just be stuck with Russell Wilson, and then really the only time Neighbors pops is on deep balls. So that's kind of my biggest concern. I think we got to be pretty concerned with Malik Neighbors. That's my personal take on it. And I'm going to probably be avoiding him in my last 40 drafts that I have here. I'll probably be, unless I get him at the 1-2 turn at 12 or 13, I'm probably going to fully fade Malik Neighbors from now on. I also use the draft hacker. You can talk about the combos ownership part. I never use it because I don't get it. You don't know? We'll take a look. So this is Spike Week. This is not Best Ball Overlay, but this is the Spike Week tool. So you go to combo ownership view and it'll tell you percentages here. So I don't know if it pops up, but if you hover over a percentage, it'll pop up. In this case, my first pick is here, CeeDee Lamb. My second pick was Higgins, so 0% with Higgins, 0% with Breece Hall, 0% with Omarion Hampton. Obviously, I'm 0% on Joe Mixon, but that's how that looks. I didn't actually use it or understand it either. But Huhames, shout out to Huhames in the chat. I'm not sure if he's over here, if he's in the chat, but he pointed that out to me too, actually, because I was just going on the Spike Week website and then doing it that way, where this is much, much easier. So I literally had two windows open where I was kind of, drafting with the Spike Week website open, whereas I can just do it on the screen right here. So I hope that helps. If that answers your question, hopefully that helps you. Who are we doing here? I like Kittle in this range, but I'm probably not going to click him. Let's do Waddle. I really do like Jalen Waddle this year. I really do. I think he's due for a nice bounce back. He was a second-round pick last year in best ball. Bit of an off year, but the whole offense, the whole team, especially the offense, had a down year with Tua getting hurt. I'm kind of back in on this team a little bit with looking at the offensive line. I talked about it a few streams ago. Patrick Paul is probably going to slide into their left tackle position. And he was the best pass blocking, not the best. He was one of the best pass blocking left tackles in the draft last year. So he probably moves into left tackle with Terron Armstead likely retiring, almost certainly retiring. They do need to work on the interior a little bit, but yeah, sign me up for that. Sign me up for that. How many drafts am I doing tonight? I'm only planning on one. Yeah, we're already 40 minutes in and we're in the 5th round. I'm just gonna do one because we had a good chat beforehand. So I don't want to be, on here for 3 hours, to be honest with you. It'll be a little at least be an hour and a half stream. So we'll just rip the one tonight. But I'll probably be back. If not tomorrow night, then definitely Friday night. If not Thursday night, then definitely Friday night. We'll have another stream. And then on the weekend, as always, we'll rip something. And, hopefully we'll be getting closer to that subscriber goal. And we'll get that 12-hour live stream. I'm really hoping to save some of these drafts for the live stream because I'm confident we're going to get there. If you're just popping in, if you're new to the channel, you like the content, hit that subscribe button. We're 482 subscribers, 18 away from 500. So hopefully I have something to draft when we get there. Rookies and sophomores, like I said, will probably be open, but hopefully we have a few of these guys and we can start digging into some draft stuff as well. I'm probably not going to just stream drafts the entire time. I'd rather have some guests on and have some conversation. People seem to like that as well. A little bit of just, takes, conversations, analysis, that kind of stuff, instead of just on here drafting teams. But we'll do a little bit of both, most likely. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, hit the sub. We're at what is this? 20? Is this 30? What stream number are we on? 26. There we go. 26 episodes since the big board launched. So we'll be obviously 30 plus before the NFL draft. And then we'll be drafting all throughout the summer. Hot Best Ball Summer Season 2 coming at you. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited for Best Ball Mania this year, especially. Well, it's going to happen. There's going to be the Justin Herzig is going to run that contest. I think it'll be really fun. It'll just be a fun little nugget, little difference, little change of the monotony of drafting. But what are we doing here? Probably another wide receiver, unless I want to go Judkins. Quarterback, tight end doesn't make sense. Let's bring in Judkins. Let's bring in Judkins because I really, really dislike this pocket of wide receivers. Definitely Judy. Definitely Pickens. I don't like Calvin Ridley at all this year personally. I have 0% Calvin Ridley. I don't like the price. King of QC, just click them. That's fine. Like I just don't like the price. I think he should be going closer to the Khalil Shakir range, which is not a huge difference, but it's about 10 picks of ADP. So if he really falls, then yeah, I probably would click him. But if he doesn't, I'm not taking him at ADP. That's for sure. I may have missed it. What's the Herzig contest? So Herzig wants to do essentially like a DFS lineup for people that are max entering Best Ball Mania. So essentially, anyone that you can go to Justin Herzig's Twitter page, go on his Twitter page. I think it's the pinned tweet about sign up. So it's just a Google Doc, a Google page, Google form, whatever you want to call it. You go on there, you add your name to it. You kind of are committing to max entering Best Ball Mania, and then don't ask me who, but someone will essentially assign a salary, and then you'll have 50,000, much like a DK lineup, right? So you'll build a lineup of 6 drafters, say Herzig, Liam, Karain, me, whatever. And then we'll all be given a salary, and then you build a lineup with the salary and then see what happens. You get points for making teams to the final, whatever, advancing, making the final, and then the final standings. Obviously, you get points for each sort of thing. And then, yeah, it's just it's fun. It's different. It's interesting. I'm going to take part in it just because it's fun and different and cool. And I'll pick myself, I'm sure. So, yeah, I don't even think there's money involved realistically. I don't think there is this year. I'm going to take Khalil Shakir here. I know everybody hates him, but I like to zig when people zag. I think that he's still a quality click. He was injured a little bit off and on last year, and he's still at a relatively, productive season. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not too worried about it's not going to kill me, especially, pairing him up with Waddle, pairing him up with Higgins, even Breece Hall. So I have this AFC East thing going on here, which I like to do that as well in this tournament. So I don't mind the click with Khalil Shakir, but either way, yeah, the contest will just be fun. It'll just be a fun, different thing for idiots on the internet to keep ourselves entertained realistically. So, Fantasy Football Garage entered it. Yeah, it'll be fun, man. It's just different. It'll be a fun chat. Like I said, I don't think there's money involved. I don't think there's like an entry fee or anything like that. Obviously, the entry fee is max entering Best Ball Mania, so $3,000 you could say is the entry fee. But there probably will be some prizes in there, I'd imagine, where a guy like Herzig, I'm sure he can find some donations from all kinds of fantasy supporters and whatnot, get some prizes, get some fun stuff. It'll just be fun, different thing, break up the monotony of just drafting, and people will be able to talk shit and stuff like that. It'll just be kind of fun and different. So I'm excited for that little nugget, little difference in the summer, the hot best ball summer. So what are we going to do? Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, interesting in the one spot. Interesting. I'm not sure Patrick Mahomes makes sense for this team. I'm not sure why and where does that come from? I'm not sure why you click Patrick Mahomes there, but whatever. Do your thing. Maybe it makes quarterbacks more expensive in this draft. We'll see. Tyrone Tracy goes at 88. That's a deal, I think. That's a nice deal. I like that click a lot. I like this team a lot so far. Not sure who Trip Do Bone is, but I really don't mind that team personally. I'm looking pretty good at running back and wide receiver. I feel pretty confident in those two rooms so far. So I have some runway. Let's go Bo Nix. I'm not sure why this guy wouldn't have gone Bo Nix with Cortland Sutton here. I guess you get a super falling Tracy. It doesn't, honestly, I still would have taken Nix, but let's go Bo Nix. I still would have taken Nix here, where you're getting your fourth running back with the guys you already have. Give me my stacked up quarterback personally. I guess he's got some options with Penix and Goff, but that's probably what I would have done in that spot. But I can't fall too much farther behind at the onesie positions personally. ETR subscriptions, yeah, that's what they'll be giving away. Just ETR probably will be at least one prize, right? Realistically, like it would be a prize, I'd imagine. And ETR swag, that's all it is. That'd be kind of funny. But even if it is, who cares? Like, again, if you're planning on max entering the tournament anyways, which I was kind of on the fence, like I might have only done 100, but why not? As long as the structure is the same too, like that'll honestly be a big differentiator for me. Like if the structure is make the final and get your money back like it was last year, then yeah, I'll be more inclined to max enter it. If it's not, then that might push me to pull it back and take my name off that list. Maybe we'll see. But either way, we'll take a look at what I'd be willing to bet like a lot of people like that structure of make the final and get your money back, because it is not easy. As everybody knows in here, it is very, 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 very difficult to make the final in Best Ball Mania. Very difficult. So like you got to have some juice there for the kids. You know what I mean? Like just making the finals is exceptionally difficult. And we're shelling out $3,000 to max enter this tournament. Like you got to help us out with some bucks. You know what I mean? That's just kind of my opinion on it. I'm assuming Hunter went. He did. I like Andrews here a lot. But I'm going to take Christian Kirk. I just want more Christian Kirk. And I think, honestly, wide receiver is the click there. I think that's probably the correct click when, like, after Christian Kirk, it's pretty thin for me until we get down to, like, the Trey Harris, Quentin Johnston, Liggett, and they have their purposes. And then all of the rookies, obviously, as well, that fall down here. So, give me Kirk, and then I can be off wide receiver for a while and fill out these quarterback, tight end spots, But Kelly gets a ton of value there on Mark Andrews, so I don't mind that. With Lamar, too. You're welcome. That's a nice looking squad. I'm not so sure how I feel about Ramondre, but I think I'm going to start to soften my hard stance against Ramondre. What's my Ramondre? 3%. So I think I'm going to start to soften a little bit and click his name a little bit. But we'll see. But that's some huge value on Mark Andrews there. Yeah, nicely done, Kelly. Max Ender, you get one final every 8 years. It's actually more like 10 years. Can't believe the combo thing was that simple. Thanks. Yeah, I didn't either. As soon as Huhames pointed that out, I was like, oh shit, I'm an idiot. Thanks. Because I literally would have Spike Week open on another window. I have two windows here, and I would have one with the draft screen and one with the Spike Week, and then I would be pulling up names to see. You know what I mean? It was ridiculous. And then shout out Huhames for pointing that out, because I felt like a dummy after he did. It's super simple. So just one down in the. And then this actually helps once the schedule is released, show remaining week 17 stack options, all that kind of stuff, draft capital. There's a lot of good stuff in here. So either way, that's the Spike Week tool. I'm not here to promote Spike Week. If I'm being honest, I paid for this tool. I don't get it for free. I'm not trying to support, I'm not trying to push it on anybody. I don't get anything from Spike Week, but it is a good tool. Shout out to Best Ball Overlay too, Pat, the Fantasy Dog Pound. They do a fantastic job, and it's constantly improving. So the only reason I don't have Best Ball Overlay is because it wasn't available when I got this overlay. When I got the Spike Week tool, Best Ball Overlay was not a thing. So that's the biggest reason why I went with the Spike Week direction over Best Ball Overlay. But they're doing a great job over there, and the tool is pretty sweet. So when the time comes for me to either re-up with Spike Week or switch over to Best Ball Overlay, we'll see. Maybe I'll have a conversation with somebody and see if it can make some sense. But either way, yeah, I wish, man. I forgot to mention on that stream, I was actually named after a cowboy, literally. So, I feel like I fit right into that. And yeah, it was fun regardless. But yeah, I'm literally named after a cowboy. So that's fun little tidbit for you. I'm going to bring in Drake May here. I'd like to hopefully, and I probably will be able to do it now that I have two quarterbacks. I'd like to get as many CeeDee Lamb teams without Dak Prescott as I can kind of get. So, no, definitely not Buffalo Bill Cody. No, I was named after Cody Schneider. He's one of the more famous cowboys out there, but at the time my mom was watching rodeo on TV, and Cody Schneider was riding a bull, and I started kicking her guts in, and there you go. That's where it came from. So Cody Schneider, he had his own traveling kind of rodeo for years and years, but definitely not Buffalo Bill Cody. It was Cody Schneider is who I was named after. So there you go, a little tidbit, little peek behind the curtain that is Cody Woodman. But yeah, back to this. I want to get as many CeeDee Lamb teams and builds without Dak Prescott, because I have a ton. I have an absolute boatload of them. So I want to get some mixed in without Dak. That's kind of my focus for these last 40 probably, is when I'm picking when I'm picking CeeDee Lamb. If I can avoid picking Dak, I will. Whereas if he's like a backstack option, or he falls into my lap a few picks or 10 picks or whatever it is past ADP, then sure, I'll click him because he falls into my lap. I'm not going to not click him just because, but I'm not going to force it in either. I'm going to purposefully try to almost avoid him when I can and when it makes sense. So I like this build, and the rushing upside is the biggest reason with these two, Bo Nix and Drake May. I can bring in some backstack options later, but it's the rushing upside that I'm really going after with these two. If we look at Drake May, like in limited, limited action last year, he ran for 421 yards. So you span that over a 17 game season. Damn, like it could be 800-900 yard rusher, more like 800 yard rusher. But hopefully you can get in the end zone a few more times, throw a few more touchdowns. But we got to like the potential of Drake May in his sophomore year. So that's one of those rookies we're talking about earlier, where he's going to be a first round pick, and rookies and sophomores for sure. It's going to be we're definitely going Evan Ingram here. Makes all the sense in the world. But it's going to be Jaden Daniels, Drake May, obviously. Bo Nix is going to be in there, Caleb Williams, right? And then Penix. Honestly, I'm not exceptionally familiar with the rookies and sophomores tournament because I've never actually played it. I literally never played the tournament before. I was always drafting other things when it was on. Plus, it's only open for like a day. So I never did it, but I absolutely will this year, and I'll probably max enter it. But I'm going to have to dig into it. I think there's 4 drafters per room, and you only draft 1 quarterback, I believe. If it's 2, then Penix will be right up there as well in the second round, most likely. But again, those sophomore quarterbacks are going to be the first round picks, in my opinion. At least that's how I'll be drafting. And then we'll kind of take it from there. So Yeah, 101, Jane Daniels, no question. And then the 102, probably either those the two quarterbacks I have, Drake May or Bo Nix, will probably be the 102 and then 103, and they might kind of flip flop each other a little bit, mix and match, whatever. But yeah, that's kind of the way I see that tournament. At least, yeah, that's the way I see it. I don't think it can go any other way realistically. Yeah, it is unfortunate. That's why I never drafted it. Like I was always like, I don't really know much about this tournament. I'm drafting other things and I'm not going to force it in. I thought it was a little bit like gimmicky, but this year with how much I'm streaming and I've got a few shekels in the old UD account from Best Ball, playoff Best Ball. So I'll probably max enter it. We'll see. But I'll definitely get some in. If Chris the Candyman's still in the chat, make yourself known. But I've been mixing in a few of these Albatross teams. Maybe we'll take a quick peek at that after. I'm mixing in a couple. I'll probably do like 10 or 15, something like that. Just a few, get a little sweat in the best ball or the golf best ball streets. The Masters, the majors. So mix a couple of those in. They're fun. I do like PGA DFS on DK, like 150 max, the mini max. I do that every week on DK because I love golf, and I do a lot of drafting that way. I guess not drafting, but DK lineup building. So big golf guy over here. Big F1 guy too. I do F1 on DK every race as well. So little tidbits about your boy you might not know. The click is probably Trey Harris, but I'm going to actually bring in Trevor Lawrence. I'm only at 6%, and I'd like to get that a little bit higher. It's close on whether this needs to be a 3 quarterback team or not, but I'm going to do it. Because I feel so comfortable in my running back and wide receiver rooms that I can stop at 6 and I can stop at 8, no problem. So it's a 3-6-8-3, the classic build. So I being comfortable with those rooms, I can do that and kind of like up my total floor at quarterback, and the backstack options are fully available for all 3 of these quarterbacks. So I'm not worried about that at all. But that does limit my wide receiver and tight end room. So, it's JAC now for Jacksonville. They changed it from JAX to JAC. I don't know if I like that under Trevor Lawrence there. Should still be Jax if you ask me. But Mountain Man, you big golf fan as well. You're in the golf streets. Those are fun. It's tough. It's really actually that's why I went with the Albatross over the I can't remember the other one. The one that's like it's got like 6 tournaments and then 5 and then 4 or whatever, and it's season long. That's that one's way too hard for me. Yeah, I'm not drafting those. Just the majors, just the Albatross. Maybe we'll take a look at that after this. And you guys can take a look at my squads and tell me what you think. Doc, appreciate you, man. Yeah, hit the like button, guys, if you don't mind. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. If you like the content, smash the subscribe. It always helps. Maybe share it with your friends, or your league mates. And if you're in dynasty leagues, fantasy leagues, anything helps. But appreciate you guys in the chat. Appreciate the likes, the comments. The community's been awesome. So the last episode, the Cowboy episode, the Cowpokes, the OTS Ranch episode was the most successful episode on the channel live stream so far. Only live stream. I've had some pretty big just videos that have my mock drafts and stuff like that have hit pretty hard. But beyond that, that's the most successful live stream that I've had. So appreciate you guys. We're definitely done at quarterback regardless of anything. I'm not taking 4 quarterbacks, no question about it. Probably bringing in a running back here. It's definitely the range where I want to focus on running back. I need 163. I need a little bit of I'm just gonna do it and bring in Garendo here. Yeah, I'm gonna bring in Isaac Garendo just because I want more of him. It makes sense for the build. I'm only at about 6%. I'd like that to be a little bit higher. So let's bring him in, help out that running back room. It's kind of the position I want to focus on right now, regardless, at this point in the draft. So I don't view it as much of a pull up. Rashad White could have been a good click. Jerome Ford, I've got 17%, so I don't have to do that. Jalen Wright, I don't particularly want to bring in with Jalen Waddle, just doesn't particularly make sense to me. Same thing with Ray Davis and Khalil Shakir, although it's fine if you do that. It's a fine click. I just don't want to do it with this squad. So we'll see who's left for me after that. I don't have to go running back, but we'll see. 26 in the chat. Hit the like button if you don't mind, guys. UD Daily is brutal, but best ball really fun. Majors only a little tougher. Currently playing to a 9 handicap. Nice. I'm about a 12 right now, personally. I'd like to get in that single digits. That's definitely my goal. I mean, it was my goal last year, so it's still my goal this year. Single digits is exceptionally good. That's really good golf. I'm at, like I said, about 12 and a half right now is where I'm at handicap wise. So I got some work to do, but it's it's an addiction. I'll say that. It's my favorite pastime, if you will, my favorite sport that I play currently. Obviously grew up playing baseball and everything like that, different sports, but that I can play now at, almost 40 years old. Give me some golf clubs and some green grass and we can have some fun. We'll also, we won't be doing another draft, but we'll go through all these teams. We got King of QC, we got Biff Tannen, we got Lowell Simone, we got Kelly, we got Champ X. Like, we got a lot of teams to review, so we'll do that. And then, like I said, we'll be back either Friday or tomorrow or Friday for sure. One of those 2 days. And then on the weekend as well, we'll be mixing in a draft there. Tons of value still left in the draft. So the door's kind of wide open to do whatever we want. Four tight end build in the 2 spot. That's interesting. One tight end here. Kittle and Andrews is a nice pairing. Can either add a third or not. Depends on what you want to do. Let's bring in Giddens. One of my favorite clicks right now. It's either Giddens or Tyler Algier, but I'm going to take the shot that I can get a 1A, 1B type of running back. So at this stage in the draft with the running backs, like, yes, there's Algier. Yes, there's Corum. Yes, there's Braylon Allen. There's all of these kind of, set in stone type of options, but give me some of these rookies like DJ Giddens, like RJ Harvey, where they could go in and be that 1A, 1B option instead of a direct handcuff like Blake Corum, like Tyler Algier, right? So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it with running back as we sit. I have Titleist TSI 2 driver and 5 wood. I've got a Nike 4 hybrid. I've got Mizuno irons and a Scotty putter. Jeff T, I enjoy the albatross. I have my guys in loading, the boat on, and fading. ADPs are becoming slightly more in balance with the adjustments in official world golf rankings. Yeah, it's the top 50, I believe, right? That get the auto invite, if you will. I think it's the top 50 official golf rankings, which equates to, I don't know, like an additional maybe 10 golfers, because everyone that's in the top 50 typically has qualified through one way or another. So yeah. Oh man, I'd have to look, honestly. I'd have to look. It might be those. It might be those. I'd have to go look at them, to be perfectly honest with you. The oh man, the hot metal something or other. I haven't looked at them in a long time, if I'm being honest with you. I haven't actually like sat and looked at my irons. They are Mizuno, and they might be the 921s. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. My apologies. I'd have to go look at them to be accurate. Yeah, the Hot Metal Pros, I believe, are what I have, which I think is the JPX 921s, actually, I think, but I could be wrong. But that's what I have. They're awesome. They're awesome. We're going Brenton Strange here. I was gonna take him with my last pick, so I'm really happy that I could get Giddens and Strange in this one. So let's bring him in. Official world golf rankings also impacts U.S. Open and the Open Championship. Yeah, everyone who breathes gets in the PGA Championship. Yeah, pretty much. But I think it's top 50 that get into the U.S. Open, the Open Championship, the U.S. Open, and the Masters. That's a qualifying measurement essentially. So, yeah, since we got all these golf guys in here, we'll take a look at my couple. I've done 2 so far. So let me know what you think. After this draft, we'll take a look at those and tell me what you think. There's a couple of guys that I think are a little bit sleepy that I like, and just like they've qualified already. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. Plus, if you look at the structure of the albatross, like you need guys that are playing in the Masters. If you're taking guys that have only qualified for the U.S. Open and the Open Championship, depending on where their official their golf ranking, the world golf ranking is at, like there's no point in taking those guys, because unless you think you can drag them through the Masters. But we can talk about that in a second. It's it's something I'm getting into. Shout out to Candyman. He finished 4th or 5th in the Albatross last year, so he's a big golf guy as well. But let's go, man. I love them double wrap for the grips and have them bent a degree upright. Dang, I haven't adjusted any like any of my shafts or anything like that. Yeah, I just was fitted for them. They felt the best. The length was right. Everything made sense. I love those clubs. I love my clubs. I have a Nike Approach wedge, actually, I left out. Ooh, I got Callaway Jaws wedges. Left those out, but they need to be qualified. But also, once they're in the Masters, is their official world golf ranking good enough to qualify for the last 2? That's something I consider. Yeah, it is, exactly. So yeah, if they're in the Masters already, and then you're thinking that they can pop up in the golf, world golf rankings and get in the top 50, then that's fine to click them, as long as they've already qualified for the Masters, like you said. So yeah, there's a lot of nuance to it. It's an interesting one. But yeah, I need to dig more into that sort of thing. Guys that have qualified for the Masters that I think can get in with their official world golf ranking, but I haven't dug quite into it yet. I'll probably only do a few more. Ben Haskell, what's happening? No, I don't really watch much basketball personally. I just can't do it. If anything, I watch college basketball, and I haven't even been watching March Madness, to be honest with you, which is a little embarrassing, because I've been a massive college basketball fan for my entire life. And I don't have time, for being honest. Great ending. Sounds good. Diamond gold stiffs for me. Fucking send it. Yeah. The stiffer, the better. Like, I want mine to have 0 flex, if I'm being honest. I'm a stiff shaft kind of guy. It sounds dirty, but I like my shafts to be very, very strong. especially with my driver and my woods, but irons as well. Let's go to Mario Douglas. Like, obviously, Diggs coming in is actually good for Douglas. I've been saying the whole time that I think the most entrenched wide receiver in that offense is Demario Douglas in the slot. I think that, they could bring in a wide receiver in the draft, but it would be most likely another outside XZ type wide receiver. Especially with Diggs coming in, then maybe an X or a Z, whoever they see Diggs as being. I would think Diggs would probably be your Z option at this point in his career. So you bring in like a Jaden Higgins or a Ted McMillan or something like that, and then the most safe kind of wide receiver on this team to me is Demario Douglas in the slot. So I'm okay to take him there, bring him in, pair him up with Drake May. We're single stacked so far. T-Law, May, and Bo Nix. Tons of room to draft, though, so we'll see what we end up with. Probably bringing some rookie wide receivers, most likely. I don't think I'll take another vet, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see about that. I'm going to do something a little different that I've done a few times that I think is fine to do. So, Actually, I might not take any rookie wide receivers. That's really interesting that they changed the Jacksonville to JAC instead of JAX. I keep thinking I'm looking at the wrong team. It's really weird. Like Dami Brown, JAC. I'm like, who is JAC? And then it clicks. So that's kind of odd, but that's okay. This is a weird spot for running backs in the draft. It's just, take kind of whoever you like, I suppose. Jarquez is a click for me. I'd like to get a little more Jaden Blue, 4%, Taj Brooks, 5%. LaQuint Allen, I wouldn't mind clicking a couple times. He's at 6%, but no need to force it. Just whatever you want to do. Yeah, Jax is way better. Let's just bring in Troy Franklin here to pair up with Bo Nix. Let's just get that out of the way. There's all of the picks that I want to end this draft. It does not matter where I click them. I don't think anyone will take them on me. So I can try to hop in an Albatross draft if you live stream. I just don't think anyone's live streaming Albatross draft yet this year. I think the PPR Tyler drafted one blindly, essentially, with BBG Best Ball guy on his channel. But yeah, maybe if there's enough interest, if there's you, me, and if one more person in this draft in the chat says they want to rip an Albatross, maybe we'll pull one up. We'll get it going. Good thing Tyler's not here. The chat could go off the rails with stiff shaft talk. No doubt, eh? No doubt. Oh, man. I don't know if we want the ringer, though. I don't know if we want a ringer in there, Candyman. I'm trying to get some EV, man. Well, maybe we'll do one. Only got 20 left. Is it 150 max, by the way? Or is it 50? What's the max entry to that? I've only done 2. So, yeah, PPR and BBG did one. I was in there so fast. Yeah, that was, I saw it. Holy, 150, you only have 20 left. Good luck to you, man. Good luck to you. I know you do well at it, so you don't exactly need the luck, but yeah, that's a, I mean, what is that? Same as max entering the big board? It's $10, I think, right? So same as max entering the big board. I don't mind that, especially since you've done really well at it. So good on you. But all right, we'll do one. We'll rip one. I'm gonna have to pull up my my cheat sheet and then the chatter might not be as good because you got to keep an eye on it. Mind you, I'm pretty good at it now. I know for the most part, and I have some sleepers at the end that I like. Who Hames? Why are you on mute? No, I'm not. I'm going to do an albatross. We got enough interest to do an albatross draft. I've got Fantasy Football Garage. The ringer in here is going to join in, and Jeff T wants to pop into one too. So we'll rip an albatross after this, just to have some fun with it. What are we doing here in this draft here? I got a few more clicks to make. One more wide receiver, and I know who I want. One more tight end, and I know who I want. One more running back, and yeah, I'll take kind of whoever. There's no real running back that I feel like I need here. I mean, I can just click whoever I really want. Let's just do my guy Jarquez because he's my guy. And, you know, I'd be embarrassed to not have 20% Jarquez if he ends up smashing. I'm only at 18%. So give me some Jarquez Hunter. That's the last kind of unknown click. I know the wide receiver and tight end that I want, and I don't think I'll get sniped. So we will see. Yeah, I definitely want to click Tiger Woods in the first round. Appreciate that, man. That'll be my first click, no doubt. The 1-1, Tiger, absolutely. And then Rich Beam in the second, he'll be unstoppable, no doubt. Is John Daly in there? I should probably click John Daly, right? He's got a lifetime exemption to the Open, right? Got to get John Daly in there. Phil has exemptions, right? Let's get Phil in there. Phil's actually he is in all of the majors. So yeah, you never know when Phil might pop off for a, T3 or something like that, or a T9 or something at the Masters. So yeah, I mean, I'm not clicking Phil Mickelson, but honestly, there's worse clicks than Phil Mickelson for sure. So yeah. And again, Jeff, I do every week. I do 150 lineups in DK PGA. So I do know what I'm talking. I do know golf. It's just the tournament's an interesting one. It's very interesting. It's very difficult. It's very nuanced. But I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun. We got a couple people in the chat that want to rip one. So you got to give the people what they want. I won't do another best ball draft or football big board draft, but we'll rip an albatross just to have some fun. I'm not even going to show you my other two teams either because we got to keep some secrets. This next click is for me, hey? Biff Tannen? Who is it? You think you're sniping me or what? I'm going to the Houston Open tomorrow. Nice. Going to try to follow Roy then Scheffler in the PM. That's awesome. Nice. That'll be fun. Oh, that would have been a good click. He already went though. Yeah, he's flying up the board, man. You can't get Kyle Williams in the 19th or 20th round anymore. He's an 18th round click now. Yeah, at the start of the 18th round. He's an 18th round click now. So I want to go Parker Washington for my Jacksonville, almost at 20% Parker Washington as well. But where am I at with Kyle Williams? Should be right at 19%. Geez, I'm close. So it's going to be tougher and tougher for me to get up to my 20 to 25, 20 to 30% kind of Kyle Williams now that a cat's out of the bag. But that's all right. That's the plan. Hide the goods. I've got my flag plants and sleepers. Definitely. I know. I mean, in fairness to me, I was there before Chris Sims. Like, if you're watching this show, you would have known about Kyle Williams a month ago, more than a month ago. Like right after the Senior Bowl, essentially. No, right at the Combine. Right around the Combine is when I started really hammering Kyle Williams. So, I don't know, what was that, a month ago? Yeah, a month ago. Putt Daddy, you into the golf? I'm intrigued about this Albatross contest. Can't wait to see this. Yeah, with a name like Putt Daddy, you got to be in the golf streets, no? It is a difficult tournament. I will say that. Just take your guy Ty Felton. That's fair. I'm not a Ty Felton guy, but if you like him, take him. Take him. I'm not sure who's like. I have 20% Savion, but I like to get that down to the 15 range. I still think he's a fine boomer bust candidate. A lot of people like Torrey Horton. I just think he's limited personally. Quite limited, I'll say. Ty Felton, again, limited, but you're getting the slot stuff for him. It depends. For Torrey Horton, it depends on what they ask him to do at the NFL level and wherever he goes. So other than that, yeah, it's pretty slim picking. Some people like Dante Thornton Jr. Some people like Elijah Badger. I'm somewhat intrigued on Elijah Badger. I probably like someone pointed him out. I think when Emo Cowboy was on, and I didn't particularly even know who he was, which is pretty fucking rare for me when it's a rookie. I pretty well know everybody's name, and I didn't really know Badger, but I went and looked at his stat profile and his athletic profile, and it looked pretty intriguing, if I'm being honest. So I might have to dig into some tape on that. Two-school guy from what I saw. But we're going to wrap this up, and then we'll jump into an albatross here. So the kind of crazy click that I think is viable and I think can make some sense is Austin Hooper. There he is. He's back with the Patriots. They probably don't want to be drafting a tight end. I wouldn't think they might, but regardless, rookie tight ends struggle. The stat line that he had last year, he's back with the same team. So, in builds where I have Drake May, I don't mind bringing in a last pick, Austin Hooper, on occasion. So, especially at the build like this with Evan Ingram, Brenton Strange, Austin Hooper's not going to make or break me, but you never know who you might need. So I'm stacking up all of my quarterbacks. Like basically I've just been back stacking all three of my quarterbacks, which I think is a quality build in my opinion. So looking at my team, double stack Bo Nix, double stack Drake May, double stack Trevor Lawrence, happy with that. Brees Hall, Marion Hampton, Quinshon Judkins, Isaac Garendo, DJ Giddens, and Jarquez Hunter. Only two, established vets. Maybe the proper click was a veteran here, but there's really nobody there that I felt comfortable with regardless. So it was either like Jarquez or LaQuint Allen, something like that. But I'm happy with these rookies. I'm confident they'll have a strong role. So CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, Khalil Shakir, Christian Kirk, DeMario Douglas, Troy Franklin, Parker Washington, Evan Ingram, Brenton Strange, and Austin Hooper. I like that team. I think it works. I'm happy with it. Let's look at King QC quickly. We'll rip through these, then we'll rip an albatross. Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, Trey Benson, Devin Neal, Blake Corum, Austin Eckler, Raheem Sanders. Both of these rooms work for sure. A couple rushing upside quarterbacks. You got your strong hero RB start, dual RB start, whatever it is you want to call it. 2792, interesting. I don't mind this room at all, though. Roma Dunze, Calvin Ridley, Jacoby Myers, Josh Downs, Marvin Mims, Hollywood Brown, Alec Pierce, Jalen Royals, Jordan Whittington, Trey McBride, and Juwan Johnson. So Trey McBride with Kyler, and that's it. I'm fine with that. No stack options with Hurts, but you got him at 51, so it's a value. I don't hate that at all. This will work. I mean, the wide receiver room's a little bit on the thin side for me just because I don't really love Ridley personally. I'm not a Hollywood guy. It definitely works, though. Like, I'm definitely fine with it. I'm fine with it. Tight ends I'm fine with. Yeah, this will work. It's an interesting build, but I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it. It's a different kind of build. We'll look at Biff Tannen. We got Jared Goff, Anthony Richardson, and Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart's going to be the one that decides this one. You got your high floor Jared Goff, your week in, week out. As long as he's healthy, you should be reasonable at the position, 15 to 20 points roughly at the position. And then we'll see if Anthony Richardson ends up starting for this team and if Jackson Dart ends up starting for any other team. If you can, like this, I don't even need to look at the rest of your roster. This team is going to live and die by these quarterbacks. That's just the way it is with this type of a build. Not that it can't work. That's just the reality of it. Jahmyr Gibbs, Bucky Irving, RJ Harvey, Tyler Algier, Elijah Mitchell, Marshawn Lloyd, LaQuint Allen. I like this room a lot. I'm not a big fan of Elijah Mitchell personally, but doesn't mean it's a bad click. I like the top two. I like RJ Harvey, Algier. I like Lloyd. I like Allen. This definitely works for me. Paired up with Jared Goff, that works just fine. Terry McLaurin, another Goff, Jameson Williams, Jordan Addison, and then a bunch of rookies. Golden, Hunter, Higgins, Harris, Felton. Yeah. I'm not drafting Jordan Addison personally. I'm down on this Vikings offense with JJ McCarthy. I like Terry. Jameson obviously pairs up, and then Laporta as well with Goff. Laporta and Loveland, I actually think that can be okay as a 2 tight end room. Interesting. Put a lot of pressure on these rookie wide receivers to succeed, but doesn't mean it can't work either. I mean, these two could have just been flipped, so that's fine as far as the, quote fingers pull up and then the falling value and just flip-flop the picks and it works just fine. So that's a whatever burger, but interesting build again, just definitely a little different. It's going to live and die, I think, by these quarterbacks. Lolsimo, CJ Stroud, JJ McCarthy, Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers. We'll take a look at the rest of the team, but Aaron Rodgers might not be necessary on this squad. Let's take a look. Bijan, Chuba, Javonte Williams, Ollie Gordon, Kareem Hunt, Jaden Blue. Don't hate it. I mean, it works with Bijan and Chuba, and then, you need basically one of Javonte, Ollie Gordon, or Jaden Blue to kind of be a guy. Javonte, you're hoping, but again, we talked about it pre-show. They've done nothing but look at running backs, the Cowboys. So they're bringing somebody in. It's just how much is it going to eat into Javonte? Lad McConkey, DJ Moore, Devonta Smith, Judy, Pickens, Shaheed, and Tillman. Are you thinking Rodgers goes to the Browns? Is that what we're thinking? I'm not personally buying into the Cleveland offense unless I were trying to match with a rookie quarterback, which is pretty tough, if I'm being honest. Yeah, and then Rashid Shaheed with Carr, Hawkinson with McCarthy, Schultz with Stroud. Interesting. So you matched up two of your, and then you got another Brown here. I think that's buying into the Browns just a little too much for my liking. I think that's going to be a struggling offense. Might have a bit of a hard time for me. Yeah. I like this wide receiver room for the most part. I'm not a big Shaheed guy. I'm not drafting Tillman. I'm just too concerned about the concussion issues. And especially with all the Browns, that's a concern for me personally. Let's go to Kelly. We've got Lamar Jackson and Stafford. That'll work for me. Lamar just frees you up to do whatever you want. Lamar, Josh Allen, those types of quarterbacks. They free you up to basically just take them and another, the reigning, and you could argue Lamar was the MVP last year, right? Just pick two and you should be fine. As long as Lamar's healthy, you're fine. Devon Achane, Ramondre Stevenson, B. Rob, Jordan Mason's a good click. Wright and Audric Estime. I like that a lot, actually. That's a really nice running back room. I like Estime personally, especially with where he's going. It's free, it's easy, and if he ends up being the Mark Ingram in this offense, then it's a great pick. But I like this room a lot. Puka Nacua and Devontae, I love that. Man, what a team. Good job. Deebo Samuel, Luther Burden, Jalen Coker, Alec Iomanor, Isaiah Bond. I wouldn't have brought in Hopkins on this team personally. I think that's a bit of a misclick, but you got some value, I guess. De'Ami Brown, I'm fine with. This room works, but I'm not a big Ayuminar guy personally. If you are, that's fine. I'm not a big Bond guy. That if you are, that's fine. And then, but regardless, I think Hopkins was a bit of a misclick. I probably would have brought in almost any other wide receiver, even Butte, who's still on the board. I probably would have brought in over him, but there's probably better options either way. Kittle, Andrews, and Mayer, that'll work. With Kittle and Andrews, you can either take a third tight end or not. Your options are pretty endless. Do whatever you want to do. So I'm fine that you brought in Mayer. If he gets traded to, say, the Rams, or for some reason the Ravens, which I highly doubt he would go to the Ravens, but if he gets traded to the Rams, you're laughing. Either way, if he gets traded, regardless, you're happy with the click. But I like the team. This is going to be relatively rare, especially when you didn't pull up Devontae Adams. Like if you pulled him up to the 30s to where you got Lamar, then that's nothing special. But getting him at ADP with Puka, that's really nice. And then you brought up Stafford to make sure you get the stack. I like that. But this team definitely works. I like it. Oh, Hopkins with Lamar. I probably would have rather just gone solo stack with Mark Andrews, if I'm being honest. Like, I just don't see a lot of value in DeAndre Hopkins this year. I really don't. So I'm just basically not drafting him at all, unless he's like literally 20th round, one of the last picks. Then I might think about it. But either way, very strong team. I really like what you did. And especially this Puka Devontae Adams things. That's really nice, especially when you didn't reach. We got Champ X3. Let's take a look. Anything in the chat? I like big putts, and I cannot lie. Nice. That's awesome. Good on you, putt daddy. Yeah, we got you right now, champ. I saw a picture from many years ago. Fair enough. I saw that old Twitter one. Imagine what this offense can do, or something like that. I know what you're talking about. We got Jaden Daniels and Justin Herbert. I'm happy to stop at 2. I like that. Derrick Henry, I like it. Chase Brown, David Montgomery, Warren, Bashal Tootin, Jerome Ford. I love that room. That's a really nice running back room. I think you're probably going to be thin at wide receiver just looking at this, but we'll see. Brian Thomas, Juwan Jennings, Darnell Mooney, Rashad Bateman, Quentin Johnston, Adam Thielen, Josh Palmer, Tolbert, and Trey Tucker. Did all right, actually. I don't mind that. You got some high upside guys in Mooney, Palmer, Tucker, some spike week guys there. I mean, it is a little on the thinner side, but you had to be thin somewhere. So that makes sense. But I think this works. I don't mind that. Hunter Henry, Tyler Bigbie, Tyler Conklin, couple Tylers and a Hunter. Don't mind that. Obviously paired with your quarterback. I mean, Naked Daniels, I thought you should have brought in Debo where you could have, and I probably would have done that, but not the end of the world with the rushing upside. Double stacked the Chargers. I like that. Not a bad squad at all. I like it, especially the running back room. Quarterbacks look good. Tight ends are pretty much always fine if you take 3, so I'm okay with that. Wide receiver room's a touch thin, but there's not a lot you could really do about it, so I don't mind that. Good build, well done. Let's jump into the promised albatross. Hopefully there's room for everybody. So we're jumping in right now. Jump in now. Hopefully there's room. All right, waiting on 3. Jump in. Jeff T, Candyman, you guys want in, jump in. And we'll rip a quick albatross here. We're filled. We're drafting. Feels good. Let's see who we got in here. We got the Candyman. We got AZ Mountain Man in the 1 spot. So he's going Scheffler. Draftbot. Jeff T, what's your username? Are you in here? Did you miss it? Is it Draftbot? Oh, in the 2 spot. Accidental Victory. I like the name. That's a sweet name. Not a lot of people go with this dog either. What is that? The Terrier? Not a lot of people go with that dog. I like it. I like it. All right, let's see what happens. Oh, you can see my exposures, I guess. That's kind of annoying for me, but that's all right. hopefully I don't give anything away. You guys can see my exposures. I mean, I've only done 2 of these drafts, so we'll see. In the 5 spot, who we want? Oh yeah, I got to bring up my cheat sheet here. I got to bring up my cheat sheet so I know who I need to be picking. Let's jump this or pop this open here. There we go. Okay. All right, we're ready. We're ready. I'm gonna nail this. Telling you. You guys are going down. Oh man, this isn't helping me out here. Let's make this smaller. Okay, I'm on the clock. Jeez. Gotta be Morikawa. It's gotta be Morikawa for me here. JT has been relatively hot, but no, it's gotta be Morikawa. In the Open and in the US Open, give me Colin Morikawa. Can't remember off the top of my head what he did the Masters lately, but let's go down that road. Rom. I'm going to have to take JT if he's there. Jay Tizzle. Oh, he takes Justin Thomas. Perfect. I wanted Bryson. Bryson's actually my favorite golfer. He has been for some time before he was popular. I liked him before he was hated, and then he was hated. Now he's popular. I still like him. Bryson's my guy. Let's do it. Let's do it. My old dog was a terrier. That's why I chose the icon. Nice. Yeah, not a lot of people pick the terrier for some reason. I don't know why, but with the headband too, it looks clean. I like it. All right, I gotta pull up my cheat sheet here. What am I picking next? 17 and 20. Who do we got? Who do we want here? I know who I want. I know who I want. Yeah, I know who I want here. Hopefully he's still there. I think I might get sniped on one of these guys. I think I might get sniped on one of the guys I want, but we'll see. Who's done what here? Scotty, Rory, Xander. Xander's another one of my guys. Ludwig, Morikawa, JT. Hideki's a good one, former Masters winner, so he might be able to get you through. Brooks, Tyrrell Hatton. Nice. I'm gonna get my guy. I want Hovland. Hovland is like, he is set to win a US Open. I'm telling you. Hovland is gonna win a US Open. It might be this year. Hopefully it is. Unless he won one already off the top of my head. I'm not sure. I don't think he won a US Open yet, but he will. Oh, both of them. Robert McIntyre is the other click I wanted here. Nice. I love my team so far. You guys are going down. You guys are going down. What are my next clicks? I better be prepared. I can't get caught with my pants down here because this is a tough. This is a tough. I don't know who I want on this one. Actually, I do. I know who I want with my next click. You can't really stream these because you really can't share any information. It's too like you got to keep everything close to the vest to make sure you kind of get your guys. Otherwise, like you're just gonna get sniped left, right, and center, and you can't share any information. It's such a weird, oh, I wanted Aaron Rye. Nice pick, Mountain Man. I wanted Aaron Rye there. Tom Kim hasn't really qualified for everything. Like he has qualified for the Masters, and that's what we were talking about. I think Jeff, we were saying it in the chat there. Like he could easily, he's in the Masters. Let's say he has a good showing at the Masters. Boom, he's qualified for the rest. If he gets his, world golf ranking up, boom, he's qualified for the rest, right? So maybe I just click Tom Kim here and just take a risk with how much I like my team already. Because I wanted Aaron Rye, and he's gone. I'm gonna take Sahith. I think he's in a good spot. I think he's qualified for everything. Yes, he has qualified for everything already. He's a really good golfer, in my opinion. I think he's due. I think he fits U.S. Opens and Open Championships very well. And then it's probably got to be Sam Burns, I believe. I think he's qualified for everything already. Yes, he has. So give me Sam Burns, falling Sam Burns. Don't mind that. I like my team quite a bit. I would have taken Tom Kim there just to do exactly kind of what we talked about. Matt Fitzpatrick, I like the click Candyman. I think that's above ADP. No, not really. He's qualified for everything, so I don't mind that. Hmm. Yeah. What are we gonna do here? Bezadenhout, man, AZ Mountain Man, you know your shit. Hey, I like Bezadenhout too. That would have been my click. You take Aaron Rye for me. You take Bezadenhout. Jeez, killing me. Tough room, hey. Um. Hmm. Who is Candyman gonna take here? I would have clicked McNeely. It's one of my guys. Mav McNeely. Okay, let's do similar reasons. Let's do Thomas Dietrich, another guy that's like got the game, got the style to win a US Open and an Open Championship. So let's bring in Thomas Dietrich. Those are tournaments that he has not qualified for. So hopefully he has a good showing at the Masters and or the PGA Championship. We shall see. Minwoo. Siwoo, I don't think is a very good click. Yeah, he hasn't qualified for anything yet. Wow. Harmon, I don't think is a good click either, but he has qualified for everything. Wow. Lefty at the Masters. All right, give me Brian Harmon, 4 picks past ADP. I didn't think he qualified for everything, but didn't he just win a Masters, I guess? Yeah, I agree with this. Get your guys, especially with AZ Mountain Man at the top there, just snipe me left, right, and center. And a ringer like Candyman, you know what you're doing. Get your guys season in the golf streets. I like this squad though. Holy moly, you guys are kind of fucked, man. Dietrich's the only guy who hasn't qualified for everything on my squad. Actually, McIntyre, has he qualified for everything? I don't think he has actually. Yeah, he has. Never mind. Davis Thompson for Mountain Man. Jeez, that's one of my guys. Two more picks. For me, it's I'll wait for Candyman to pick here. Because he's it can't be trusted. He can't be trusted. Can't really talk about it. But yeah, Dietrich's the only guy on the squad. He's qualified for the Masters and the PGA. So if he can just get into the Open and the US Open, those are the tournaments where I think he actually thrives in. Chances are he gets in the Open, being European. But either way, for me, it's Højgaard, it's Nikolai Højgaard over Rasmus Højgaard because of what he's qualified for. So Nikolai's qualified for the Masters and the PGA already. Yeah, Højgaard let's actually do Rasmus because I guess he probably gets into the PGA. Like you said, like everybody kind of does. And it's not necessarily guaranteed that Nikolai gets into the Open or the US Open. And I haven't clicked Rasmus yet, so let's bring in Rasmus Højgaard on this one. But it's close because Nikolai's in both the Masters and the PGA, and those are the first two tournaments in the schedule. So I'm gonna go with my favorite sleeper. Tell me what you think about this. This is my favorite sleeper. He's qualified for 3 of the tournaments. It's Matthew McCarty. Yeah, he qualified for the Masters, PGA, and the US Open. So give me the guy, give me the young unknown, give me the kid. Tell me what you think about that click. Matthew McCarty. He's one of my sleepers, kind of one of my only. Well, there's lots of sleepers, but let's take a look at these teams because they're fun. Such a fast draft. Hard to chat. I agree with your takes. Nice team. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. That means actually a lot coming from you for real, because it's a tough. Let's just look at it this way. So let's go AZ Mountain Man first. If it shows, hopefully his last click, or it's gonna kick us out of this room. It didn't. Mountain Man, fire in the chat who your last pick was in the draft there, and then we'll take a look through it. But he goes Scotty, obviously. Shane Lowry, I don't mind that at all. Russell Henley, Keegan Bradley, I like all that. Aaron Rye steals him for me. Great click. Benny On, I'm not sure what he's qualified for, but I'm not sure I like the Ben On click. Bezadenhout, I love that one. Davis Thompson, I love that click. Denny McCarthy, I'm not so sure he fits the courses for majors very well. Excellent putter, but short knocker. Matthew Pavon, I think he's at least qualified for the PGA, probably the Masters, and probably the Open, so that's all right. Yeah, not bad. Certainly not bad. Obviously, if you have Scotty, like that's a huge start right there. But and Shane Lowry, obviously with the Open, the Masters, he's quality all anywhere and everywhere. Same thing with Russell Henley. Like again, one of the better putters on tour. So I like that. Keegan, good click. He's qualified for everything. Aaron Rye, I love that. Bezadenhout, I like that. Davis Thompson, I love that. Yeah, that's good. Let's take a look at Jeff's team here. We got Rory. Roy's one of the, he's my favorite all time. He just is the best striker of a golf ball. His swing is literally perfect. So give me Rory. Tommy Fleetwood just can never get the win. He can just never make it happen. But I'm pretty sure he's qualified for everything. It's a fine click. He just has a hard time, finishing out tournaments. I love Joaquin Niemann. Obviously he won't play probably in the PGA due to being a live golfer, but he's qualified for everything else. Spieth, yep, that's fine. Akshay, I like. I don't think he's qualified for everything yet, but he probably will. So that's perfectly fine. Lefty too. So at the Masters, you never know. Billy Ho, he's coming on right now. He's looking good these days, so I don't mind that. He's from Augusta, actually. So he's where the Masters is obviously played. That's where he's from. So surprising that he hasn't played well there, though, but either way. Taylor Pendrith, Canadian, shout out. Berger, I don't like that click. He hasn't qualified for anything, and I don't think he will. Definitely not everything. But I don't know if I like that click. Lucas Glover, that's fine. JJ Spawn, I don't mind that click. He's been pretty hot these days. So, yeah, quality squad. Don't hate it at all. Let's look at the Candyman, stud golf drafter. We got Xander, one of my favorites. I love that. Cantlay, the slow playing chud that he is, but he's a great golfer. Brooksy's one of my guys. Obviously, again, won't play in the PGA, but he'll play in everything else. Corey Connors, Canadian, shout out. One of the cleanest, effortless swings that you'll see on tour. So I like Corey Connors. Wyndham won a major recently, so he's in everything. Fitzpatrick's in everything. I like that. McNeely is a guy I would have clicked there. He's qualified for the first 2 majors, which might get him into the next 2. We'll see. Nick Taylor, another Canadian, shout out, but I don't think he's qualified for everything, but that's a problem again. Hoagie's so hit or miss. He's so inconsistent. It's really weird with Hoagie, but he has the tools to be, again, like an Open champion winner, a US Open winner sort of game, in my opinion. Same with Laurie Cantor. Could show up in the Masters, maybe, but in my opinion, he's kind of more built for, again, the US Open and the Open Championship. But we'll see. We'll see. Quality teams, guys. I like it. Fun times. I'm treating Neiman as if he's qualified for everything top live golfer gets in the U.S. Open. He'll be in everything except for the PGA. I don't think they're letting live golfers in the PGA Championship. I don't believe. At least right now, pretty much all of them are not, unless they won, unless they've qualified. I mean, I guess we'll see, because they don't get points for official or world golf ranking points on the live. So I don't know if he'll get into the PGA at all. We'll see. Unless he does really well at the Masters, that could get him in, which I think Neiman is live to win the Masters, honestly. But has Neiman, are you sure? Are you positive? I'm going to check on that to hold you to it. Joaquin Neiman, you say qualified for the PGA already, hey? Yeah, never mind. Sorry, the US Open. Okay, yeah, he probably will get in the US Open. Never mind. All right. Great click. I thought he didn't. I thought it was the PGA that he hadn't, and that was my concern. But okay, you're right. It's the US Open. Neiman can't get in. Well, he can get in. Again, if his official world golf ranking is in the top 50, he's in. But again, they don't get points for live tournaments, so that's going to keep him. But all he has to do is finish high enough. I think, what is it, top 5 or something? If you're T5 or better, then you get into the majors. Or I can't remember what that other stipulation is, but there's all kinds of ways for him to get in. So if he's playing in the first 3 majors, the first 2 majors, then the US Open's the third. But if he does well enough in the first 2, then he could get in. And Neiman's a very, very good golfer. So we'll see. But top live golfer gets in the US Open. Neiman is top by a lot. It's going to be him. Is that what it is? Like literally the number 1 golfer on live gets in automatically? I don't know if that's a thing or not, but either way, I would like his chances regardless, if I'm being honest. Joaquin Neiman's a fantastic golfer in my opinion. But that was fun. That was my third one, my third albatross. You never know. If hopefully I win it and then we can come back and watch this stream. That'd be fun. But top 3 live golfer not already qualified. Okay. There you go. Then he should be getting in. So either way, let's get out of here. Great night of drafts. It was fun time. Like I said, we'll be back either tomorrow or Friday for sure. And then also one day of the weekend, we'll rip some drafts and have a stream. So either way, we're going to wrap it up there. Appreciate you guys. Hit that like button on your way out. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you don't mind, we're inching closer and closer to the 500 subscriber goal. So if you can help me out, that'd be wonderful. But like I always say on Off the Schneid, if you're afraid to be wrong, you'll never be right. Hopefully tonight we were right. And we banked both the big board and the albatross. But we'll see you on the next one. Have yourselves a great night, guys.